they arrive at this game, they're desperate to avoid an early exit, eager for a repeat of their fine away form that they displayed during an impressive Group G campaign. They beat Yangon FC over 2 legs at the same stage of last year's AFC Cup. They won all 3 of their group stage games are on the road, and it's a sequence of results which saw them score 11 times, concede on just a couple of occasions. Their Spanish striker Bienvenido Marañón netted 7 of those 11 goals and continues to shine brightly on the continental stage after opening the scoring in last week's encounter. He takes his tally this year's campaign to 10. So all to play for. Ceres' hopes of progressing could well depend on Bienvenido Marañón adding to his already very impressive total, and one that sees him currently topping the competition's goal-scoring charts. Remember, Ceres have made the last 2 AFC Cup zonal finals since the format was changed. They will face the winner of either Vietnam's Beckhams Bintwong or Indonesia's PSM Makassar. Very much looking forward to this game, which is just a few minutes away, and with me in the commentary position is PJ Roberts, who was working on that first leg as well. PJ, and did you enjoy that one?
Absolutely loved it. It was a very, very entertaining affair. A real testament to the quality that we've seen in the AFC Cup developing over recent seasons. It ebbed and flowed. It took a little bit to get going in stages. Either team having plenty of opportunities in certain periods of the game as well.
Yeah.
In what was pretty testing conditions, it was a soggy pitch. The ball wasn't running as true as you would have liked, which we certainly witnessed this evening in what looks like a gorgeous evening and a very tidy pitch as well. But overall, an entertaining game, intense, good quality in the final third. And with it all to play for in this leg, we're expecting nothing short of that again this evening.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Vietnamese crowd. They're fanatical about their football, aren't they, PJ? I said there wasn't too many of them there, but they love, they're absolutely fanatical. I was in Vietnam recently and just talking to the locals about football and how they lit up. And I was talking to people in central Vietnam. There isn't necessarily this regional rivalry that perhaps you see in other countries. They really get behind their teams, and I was talking about Hanoi FC, and because of people like Quang Hai, who's a massive star in the country, and Duan Van Hao, another international. They're chock full of internationals, of course, but they do love their football, don't they?
Oh, they certainly do, and I think what we've really witnessed in recent seasons has always been that adoration for European football and particularly English Premier League. But what we have really begun to witness is the growth and interest in domestic football. And we see that interest and that little rivalry that does exist, particularly in the domestic competition. But it is teams like Hanoi FC who are really starting to express themselves on the regional circuit, which is starting to garner a little bit more interest regionally, as are some of the star players, as you mentioned, Quang Hai in particular, an absolute starlet in the making, if not already now. He's got an outstanding future ahead of him. And we've also seen that reflected in the success of the Vietnam national team as well in recent seasons. So Vietnam football overall is developing and progressing in a very, very positive manner.
Yeah, absolutely right. It is, isn't it? It's going well, as you said. The AFF champions. They won the AFC, they came second in the AFC under-23 championships at the start of last year, and they're going from strength to strength. They really are. And Quang Hai, the man who is looking further afield to expand his football horizons.
And that's certainly the next step she's at. It really is. When we look at Southeast Asia, to play and excel as a star player like that in your domestic competition is not challenging enough. It might sound a little bit harsh in some ways, but the first aspect of your career is to dominate domestic competition and obviously perform with your national team. The next step is to step out of your comfort zone and step into a league that is a step up and really aim to perform there. We've seen it with Thailand, and when you're there, good quality star players, Tip in particular, applying their trade with great success in Japan, which is a step up. We need other Southeast Asian players to really follow in those same footsteps, and that's not only for their personal growth and development, but that's for the development of the national team because they bring that quality back. And we see more players doing it, and the entire Southeast Asia as a region will continue to develop and grow and really compete with other continents around the region.
Yeah, don't forget, of course, there is also World Cup qualifying in just a few months' time, and Vietnam will surely at least fancy their chances of advancing at least further down the line than they may perhaps have done in previous occasions for the World Cup qualifying.
Yes, exactly. Obviously, a revised format. Obviously, more teams means more opportunities, which is a real blessing in many ways. With AFC traditionally having 4.5 spots, that's going to increase to 8 to 10 spots now. And we really do need Southeast Asian nations not only performing in the World Cup, which is obviously the pinnacle, but really stepping into the Asian Cup and doing well. And that's the whole purpose of competitions like this regionally, the AFC Cup progressing into the Asian Champions League, is really to support the development of footballers in this region.
So the lineups here for us, and there is one change to the side, the Hanoi side that drew against Ceres in that last leg, and that is a big blow. We talked about Ganu Oseni, and he has a leg injury that he suffered in that first leg, excuse the pun there, and last week, so he is not available. There are a couple of other key players who are not recovered yet, who also did play in the first leg, but that's the only change for Hanoi. And the other one is national team defender Tran Din Tong. He's left for Singapore, he's gone for surgery. And the midfielder Pan Duc Hui has not totally recovered from the flu, so he is not even in the starting lineup as well. So 3 misses, but only 1 from that first leg. For Ceres Negros, it's as you were, no changes whatsoever from their first leg. And remember, they have that away goal to contend with. But Oseni, big miss as well for the home side, Hanoi.
He is a big miss, obviously a proven goal scorer in this competition. Had a quiet game in that first leg. He's always very much a nuisance up top. He's big and physical. He holds up the ball well. He's quite articulate on the ball when he's required as well. And for Ceres, defensively, they were put under pressure, particularly on the transition for Hanoi FC, where you had good quality and pace in those wide areas. Doi Man, Hong Dung in particular, and the real intricacy in possession of Quang Hai. We look at obviously that the brains trust there for Hanoi FC. Chu Ding Nine come into this game with real confidence. Difficult to go to Ceres up against Vidakovic and his quality, well-organised team, but they really did take it to them. So with it evenly poised and Hanoi FC at home, they should have plenty of self-belief to really go ahead, put their cause to bed, progress through to the next round.
I think this is really a mouth-watering challenge. I think a lot of people would have hoped that this would have been the final of the RCL.
Exactly. It's got the quality to be, and that's a great point, Shazad. They're the 2 best goal-scoring teams in the competition. We're almost going to see a 0-0 draw in that first leg, which would have been tremendous. Didn't happen, though.
So here we go then with Hanoi in purple and white, Ceres going from right to left, and I say mouth-watering because Hanoi were irresistible at times in the group stages, and got outplayed a little surprisingly by Yangon here, and at times by Tampines Rovers, but came through their group by virtue of better head-to-head. Ceres Negros, they're always there or thereabouts. PJ, this is their
Chúng tôi xin trân trọng giới thiệu với anh em một website rất uy tín, đó chính là fp88vn.com. Hiện tại đang có chương trình khuyến mãi lên đến 2 triệu đồng dành cho thành viên mới, hoàn toàn hợp pháp và an toàn. Hãy đăng ký tài khoản ngay tại fp88vn.com để nhận được ưu đãi nhé.
Making the final is a poor season for them, given the very high benchmark that they've set for themselves.
I absolutely agree with that. I said, a couple of key players available. They have looked a little vulnerable at times. Hanoi, Ceres had a much easier path, shall we say, to this zonal semi-final, but they are up against it now. This Hanoi side turn on the magic when they want. Reminder that they played an AFC Champions League qualifier, Ceres, against Yangon, and surprisingly lost that 2-1. That was on the 5th of February this year. Given what we've seen of both teams since then, well, Ceres a far better unit than Yangon. I think they'll be really disappointed by that. But since then, they've barely looked back in the AFC Cup. Did very well in their group. Won the first 5 matches. Then had a disappointing loss at the end, but that didn't really matter against Bintwong. And then it was all rather academic for Hanoi in the Champions League. They played against Shandong Luneng in China. Mighty Shandong Luneng, of course. We've got all the resources that come with Chinese team, the likes of Graziano Pella, formerly the Premier League playing, and Gil and Roger. In fact, took the lead in that game stunningly. And Banquet doing that as they come forward here, Hanoi. They too, as I said, top their group by virtue of head-to-head against Tampines Rovers, who might feel aggrieved that they fell at the final hurdle to not qualify. All the way back. Surely a foul.
The second game beginning as the first game evolved. There were some strong challenges in that first leg as well.
And the card already, PJ. 4 minutes in. Stoibel
just couldn't help himself. He hurt himself as well.
So not only if you cause the foul, you've got a card, yeah.
Exactly.
And you've hurt yourself.
He pretty annoyed with himself right there, particularly as captain. And in that defensive line, picking up an early yellow card again just means that your decision making has to be absolute spot on.
Alvaro Silva was there first. What are your thoughts on when people dismiss it as, it's a couple of players down, by the way, when you can just run something off? Is that easy to run something off?
Depends how bad it is, right?
Well, I think there's your answer.
Well, Stevel's gone to ground, and I'm not sure if that was from the earlier injury that he had, or if that was from a separate incident, but the impression that it was from that early. And it depends on the type of knock. Sometimes if it's a dead leg in a way, it just takes a little bit of time for the feeling to come back into it, and certainly pain won't go away completely, but
the next morning's a joy.
The next morning, so yeah, it keeps you pretty quiet.
This does look like a knee injury, doesn't it?
Yeah, he came up immediately limping when he launched himself into that challenge. Concerning times for Ceres, and particularly Vidakovic. Stevel, very important player for them. Obvious reasons in wearing the captain's armband and that overall leadership and experience that he does provide, but a real balance in that defensive line as well. He's partnered with Super and Silva with Kane in the other wide fullback position. It is a really strong, well-organised defensive line. It's that early opportunity where Stevel just comes in, launches himself at it. It's a naughty challenge. Naughty challenge. You can see why he picked up a yellow card.
Absolutely, you're right, absolutely right. I'm just wondering how he's hurt himself in the process. You can see it's swelling up, isn't it? I'm not sure he can carry on.
It does seem as though be a knock on his shin, as opposed to his knee. So it seems as though it's swelled up a little bit. It's not your night when you come in and launch yourself in an aggressive manner and you come off injured.
True. Yeah, Swiss-born Martin Stoibel, who's had youth careers with the likes of Grasshopper Zurich and Neuchâtel Xamax, pretty big teams within Switzerland. Played for Lausanne as well, so he's got some decent pedigree. One of many in the foreign-born contingent within not only Ceres Negros but Philippine football. That is the policy they've adopted, naturalisation. Now an overlapping run, and had to be a better ball. In a great position, Van Dijk. Hung Dung has got to do better.
He certainly does. There's that danger from Hanoi FC on the transition. Real pace in those wide areas. Looking at catching Ceres Negros lapping. That first leg, it did take a little bit to get going. There was some good build-up play, but it really did lack clear-cut opportunities for large parts of that first half.
Was it a fair reflection for you, PJ, the 1-1 in the end?
It was a fair reflection. It was a very tight game in many ways, and it really did ebb and flow brilliantly. It was a real entertaining spectacle.
Especially, as you said, in those kind of conditions, right?
And both teams actually very proactive in the style of play, aiming to keep the ball on the ground and look after the ball in what was testing conditions. Both teams do have a plan B.
Yeah.
Hanoi FC, their plan B, for me, can be a little bit more lethal. Look at the likes, particularly of Fight up top, a real strong target man, very good in the air. You can be a little bit more direct and play off him. He's nodding it down into the midfield players running off him, as Van Dijk, Van Quet, particularly Quang Hai.
Steely challenge there. He's done well there. Kane. Now we're just awaiting the decision here on Stoibel and what is going to happen to him. Because they've got to decide whether to carry on, PJ, with an injured, very experienced player, key player, or make that change.
We'll be hoping that it'll be just one of those injuries that a little bit of life does come back into, a little bit of feeling.
He's just come back on. Just keep an eye on Stoibel on the left-hand side. You can just see him there, the number 23. He looks to be okay. He's moving relatively freely. There he is on the ball. Back to Ott. Only one Ott in the side at the moment, Mike Ott. Failed to control it, Hung Dung. They're pressing, aren't they? Quang Hai there. Haven't seen too much of him yet on Kane. Down nicely. Oh, you can see exactly what he was trying to do. Quick pass forward from Quang Hai.
Keep an eye on Stoibel. He does seem to be a little bit off the pace, needing to turn quickly and sprint back towards his own goal. There are options off the bench there for Vidakovic, Christensen, or particularly Demerga. Potentially require a little bit of a reshuffle. He's still
useful,
really limping. Yeah, he still looks very, very sensitive in that area.
Here's Ott. Trying to look for that quick ball. up to Porteria.
Midfield contest was really intriguing in that first game. Both teams defensively providing their opponents absolutely no time or space on the ball. Schrock in particular in that first half found it really challenging to get on the ball and spray the passes, which we know that he certainly can do. A little bit more space in that second half as the game started to open up.
Here he is now, Schrock surging forward. Man, his quality, that's probably one of the most disappointing passes I've ever seen him play.
This is completely miscued that. Such a dangerous player when provided a little bit of space, contributed to the goal of Marinon with a lovely little piece of skill to create space for himself and whip it into that far post for Marinon to head it home.
Man who has plied his trade in the Bundesliga and the Europa League. Stefan Schrock coming towards the twilight of his career. Here's Tancho to Toine Van Gaal, who I think kind of likes being more wing back than a full back. He just gives that a little bit more license to bomb forward. Don't quite have that role today. Here's Quang Hai. One of the very, very good players in this side. Hanoi. A lawyer. Now, Red Van Dijk. It's just a little too much. Not for the first time in this game. We've seen just a few overhead passes.
That team's just trying to be a little bit overly enthusiastic as they're entering that attacking third. Very different conditions to that first leg. Ball certainly running a bit true and a little bit faster than it did. It was kept up in some soggy conditions. Well, this doesn't look too promising here for Ceres.
I think at his time on Stoibel, and it's Christians who is going to have to replace him. That is a big blow. There's no hiding from it, really. Jeffrey Christians, Belgian-born, 28-year-old, is a straight swap. He can play on the left side, either at left back or in midfield. And Club Bruges, as it's also known, and spent his youth career, and actually went up to Belgian under-17 level before he switched allegiance to the Philippines back in 2012.
Bad substitute to be able to bring on.
Absolutely. More than 30 caps to his name. So an enforced change for Ceres Negros. Skipper is gone. I just think probably going to be Schrock to take the armband. I didn't see that earlier, but we'll have a look soon.
Nếu như các bạn vẫn còn đang loay hoay chưa biết mình sẽ đặt cược cho hai đội bóng tại đâu, thì chúng tôi xin trân trọng giới thiệu với các bạn fp88vn.com. Đây là một trong những nhà cái uy tín hàng đầu và đứng top tại diễn đàn đặt cược châu Á Asian Bookie. Các bạn có thể yên tâm đặt cược tại đây. Hãy truy cập ngay và đừng bỏ lỡ cơ hội.
Van Dijk again, he's got some really good positions.
That is a monster of a challenge there from Super.
Super racing there.
He has launched himself into that. Studs up as well.
Is that risky for you?
Well, yes. I mean, it's pretty hard to make a challenge like that if your studs aren't up.
There's a couple of moments in there. High's ball in. Needed touch. They got one from a Ceres player. It is a corner.
Cracking momentum at the moment for Hanoi FC. We expect good quality on this delivery as well, just to really apply more pressure to Ceres.
Got another touch. It needs a good finish. Oh dear. Well, he had the goal at his mercy, Hung Dung, and he's completely missed the target.
Well, Hung Dung, he did almost everything right. He opened up his body, was looking at using the inside of his foot to get a little bit more accuracy, just as it's fallen to him here. Have to hit the target. Glorious opportunity, completely unmarked. It's on the penalty spot.
What a chance that was. And he actually did the right thing there, didn't he, PJ? He had to get it over that sea of players. It was just his radar, just a bit off, wasn't it?
He appeared very composed.
Yeah.
In taking it. Other times you can look at snatching it and trying to hit it too quickly, but he actually
almost looked casual, didn't it?
Aimed to open up his body, use the inside of his foot. As you mentioned, look at trying to hit the roof of the net. Just lacking the accuracy to hit the target. Really impressive passage of play there for Hanoi FC.
They are looking good, aren't they, at the moment? They've had all the chances. Here they go, fine. Hung Dung, now he has more time with the ball, and well, this one sails over the crossbar.
They're certainly not thinking about his earlier missed opportunity. He gets on the ball straight away, and his first thought is to have a strike on goal from a long way out. Good applied pressure deep in Ceres half. They're looking lively. There's good interchange of passes. Van Quet and Fai seem to be linking up well. Hung Dung in particular has seen plenty of the ball.
They're really winning that midfield battle, aren't they, at the moment, PJ? They're completely dominating that area of the field, aren't they?
They're playing pressure high at the park. They're winning the ball back in those dangerous areas.
See Ceres much in the final third at all so far. I don't think we've even said Bienva Maragnon's name even once during the match so far. It's almost 20 minutes gone. Just not seen anything.
It's finding it difficult to get their foot on the ball and keep possession. An element of Hanoi's play which does make it challenging to press against. They're very lively, really tenacious in the middle of the park. And when they do win the ball, their ability to break forward quickly at pace with a really expansive style of play as well. With Van Dijk peeling off and Van Quet. Moses, as you see, just in the middle of the park there, just very, very disciplined, not getting caught up in the attacking play. His role he is as that defensive linchpin in the middle of the park.
I actually thought he got the ball there, PJ. Did you see anything wrong with that?
No, that's a dreadful decision. He's got away with that.
Yeah.
It's very good defending.
Well, he recovered the ball perfectly there, just slipped over. Referee went against Quang Hai. He's already looking at his watch. Vudakovic. There's a long way to go in this game, a game that's being dominated at the moment by the home team.
Yeah, and there's pressure on him. Look at the success of Ceres in recent seasons. To not make the final, it's almost a mini disaster, given how well they have done. They're certainly in for a torrid evening tonight.
Yeah. Look at that, just players bouncing off him fine. Nothing wrong with. Oh well. So I didn't see too much wrong with that one either. I was not making a big deal about it. Nazari couldn't quite believe it.
Nazari did really well just to get back initially, and clumsy coming together of the feet, fine particularly. Just having a better body position in the sense that he had his body between Nazari and the ball.
Yeah. Less contentious than the call on Kwang Hai. But it's good stuff at the moment from Hanoi. They're doing all the running at the moment. Van Dijk's enjoying his role, and Hung Dung roaming around. Christians mops up. Just lack of communication there from Hung Dung. A bit of a mixed start to this game. Schrock, nice turn. Was possessed by Moses Aloya, but Ceres give up their possession quickly as well. Here's Van Kien. Lovely interchange of passes. Perhaps one trick too many. Kwang Hai just on this right hand side for the moment. That was an interesting decision, to say the least, by Van Kien, who just let the ball go over him. Lovely ball slip through. Now, was there a foul?
Certainly was.
Van Dijk is saying there was. The referee does not agree. Yu Ming Sun of Chinese Taipei in the hot seat.
He's absolutely adamant that there wasn't.
Well, if there wasn't, isn't that a dive? As far as the referee's concerned. He hasn't taken a decision either way. Meanwhile, goes up the other end. But they're creating a lot here, aren't they, Hanoi? Here's Van Dijk. Let's have another look at this. There was contact, wasn't there, PJ?
Certainly was. It looked like there was contact in real time, and the replay just confirmed that. There's a opportunity lost there for AFC from a free kick in a dangerous area as well. Referee particularly was perfectly positioned too.
Foul by Schrock, a rather clumsy one on Van Hal. Away by Silva. 3 shots so far to Hanoi. Now on the counter, here come Ceres. It's hacked away by Duiman. There'll be a yellow card here for the defender. Sort of touch on there from Fai. Christians in the way. Schrock now on the ball. There's some space. You can see Puerto Rico's in a really good position. Needed a better pass. Now Fai. Again, he's just crowded off the ball. He's done really well here. Brilliant from Fai. As the flag stayed down, they're looking across all those defenders for Ceres. None forthcoming. Here's Banquiet. That's well done by Kane. And it's so open. Muller does well to punch clear from Fai. Here's Hung Dung. Now Moses Aloya. Aloya's dug that out. Van Ken slips up by the fight. Some good stuff here. Quang Hai is blocked in the end by Tanton. I'll tell you what, you cannot take your eye off this at the moment, VJ.
No, brilliant build-up play. Hanoi very comfortable, just circulating the ball on the edge of Ceres 18-yard box. Tanton with a decisive sliding challenge to block the ball from going in on goal. Really starting to get a greater stranglehold on this game is Hanoi. Silva and Super in central defence certainly have their work cut out for them this evening. Fai is a real nuisance up top.
Now going forward, here's Banquiet. The crowd expectant. Lucky for Ceres. There's no one there to pick up the loose ball. He's got the goal! But what a brilliant strike! And an even better save by Roland Muller. But the shot from Van Dijk, was that just creeping in? Muller was taking no chances, and he's tipped that over.
Absolutely brilliant. Van Dijk, no one expecting him to shoot from that far wide and that far out. Just has a touch, drills it. I see Muller was just edging towards the right-hand side, expecting the cross, and all of a sudden he's got to duck back to that left-hand side.
Oh, he's not got a touch on it, hit the crossbar.
Brilliant attempt. Audacious in many ways. It's so close.
Just going to use that word. It really was. I mean, the sheer confidence you've got to have to take that on.
That's got to be a yellow card. No surprises there. Zari, the cynical pull down, just being overrun. Ceres being turned around so easily by Hanoi FC. Qued showing real pace and enthusiasm in getting forward. Quang Hai and Van Dijk in particular.
Well, it's all Hanoi at the moment, and it's getting to that point where you're wondering when rather than if they score a goal. On the half-hour mark though, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Much like the first leg, the two highest goal scorers in this competition, thinking that would be great, we'll end up with a 0-0 draw. Certainly wasn't the case though. Very much like this game, we're starting to see a few half opportunities and space created, particularly from Hanoi FC. But Ceres in particular, given their experience, the quality that they have demonstrated in these competitions, they're really needing to tap into all of that.
Và chúng ta hãy cùng đến với một vài phút quảng cáo cho fp88vn.com. Đây là trang nhà cái đến từ châu Âu, có kèo ăn cao nhất hiện nay và đang được đông đảo anh em hâm mộ bóng đá tại Việt Nam lựa chọn để tham gia. fp88vn.com đảm bảo uy tín cho anh em. Nạp và rút tiền trực tiếp qua thẻ ngân hàng chỉ trong vòng 5 đến 10 phút mà thôi. Hãy nhanh tay tham dự tại fp88vn.com.
We've seen that a few times, hasn't it? The possession's been traded a fair bit, and it's made it quite entertaining really so far, albeit a rather one-sided game. Here's Ott. This is a rare moment inside that final third.
Marinon, who is a crucially important player for Ceres. Incredibly consistent goal scorer with an excellent conversion ratio as well. Has hardly touched the ball this evening. We know that defensively, when they do set up with Duman and Tan Chung in that central defensive area, Moses just sits in front, really to provide an extra defensive platform, cut out the passing options as well. They've done it so well this evening.
Are they going off for a drinks break? Well, it does appear to be the case. Is that a bit unusual for you, PJ?
It is.
And an evening game. I mean, I know
that often.
It's June. It's hot in Vietnam. Having just experienced it myself, but I've got to say, I find it rather odd.
Well, the safety and the welfare of the players is
sorry, you're right,
of utmost importance, and
I've just been just dismissed it, haven't I? They're getting the fluids in.
It is steamy conditions.
Your assessment, PJ, the first 32 minutes of this match?
I've really enjoyed it. I thought it again has probably lacked a little bit of that quality in those crucial opportunities to hit the back of the net that very much happened in that first leg. We've got two teams who are used to scoring goals and used to scoring a lot of them, particularly in this competition. They just quite haven't found the mark so far in this game. Hanoi FC completely dominating proceedings at this point. They look very, very comfortable on the ball, over 65% possession. But it really is up to them to continue to apply that pressure and really need to take their chances. They've created the best opportunities. I just tend to think that Ceres, given how experienced they are, the real maturity in this competition, only needing half a chance for Marinon, and it could be a very different story and how this game evolves.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen. Free kick here for Ceres. Maybe these set pieces could be the way forward for this side. Tanton with the delivery. There's a little flick on there from Schrock. He thought that might have come off fight. He's asked for the corner. Well, that was off Super rather. And has got the corner.
Tay không mang ô ở đây. Tay không mang ô.
That's good defending from Moses.
Được, thế nào?
Pretty well defended there. Right, Hung Dung. If we're going to have a couple of words, probably better to nip this in the bud. Been a few feisty challenges in this game. This has been the most involvement we've seen Marinon have so far.
Doiman in that first leg was absolute nuisance for Ceres defensively. He's really robust in the challenge, tenacious. He does not back down. He's such an important player defensively.
Under 10 minutes. There will be, of course, a fair bit of added time given the water break. Way back Quang Hai. However, it remains like this, PJ. This is all very good for Hanoi.
It is. It is, obviously, with that goal in that first leg.
I just cannot see it being goalless.
No.
Just, I mean, you would feel Hanoi would be very frustrated if it continues much longer that they haven't been able to pull the ball in the back of the net. It has kind of slowed down. I think the water break has probably just helped Ceres just break up that momentum a little bit.
It came at a perfect time for them.
Yeah.
Under immense pressure. I'll be incredibly surprised if we don't see a goal, or at least a couple in this game.
Remind you that Bekimets Bindwan will play PSM Makassar tomorrow. That's the other semi-final. Lots of Champions League matches going on as well at the same time. Here's Van Kiet. Quang Hai. Now Hung Dung. And the turn from him, and it's escaped everyone, and he just couldn't control it. I don't think Van Dijk expected that to get to him. Did he think Fai was going to get that touch?
He certainly did. He did well, actually, to peel off. He didn't get caught up in the play. We'll see. Fai occupies a couple of defenders. Van Dijk just peels off. It's just at this point, he just needs to do better. Couldn't read the trajectory of the bounce. It's another very, very good opportunity. Again, we see how high Hanoi FC are defending it. There's a real enthusiasm to win the ball back as quickly as possible. And then when they do win it, they do look to break forward quickly in those wide areas. Completely dominant in this game. But regardless, it's still scoreless.
Absolutely.
Ở phía kia đang mưa rất to, phía tây đang mưa rất to, như dông bão luôn. Khu Mỹ Đình, đấy, khu Mỹ Đình là mưa to. Rất là mưa rồi nha.
Going back to Silva. Just noticeably slowed down this game since that drinks break. Here's Van Kiet. Fai doesn't allow far too much space in the room. Quang Hai has gone to the back post, and can he bring it down? It's just not coming down. Oh, brilliant improvisation, but he's just wide by Van Kiet. And they're doing everything but score, Hanoi. How on earth did that not go in, PJ?
I've got no idea. I am absolutely surprised just as much as you are, Shazad. Van Dijk again in that back post area. We'll see. He collects the ball, he's trying to shift it in, the ball's bobbling around, they're trying to get it on the ground to have that strike. Van Kiet, he has to poach at it, just gets his angles wrong, and from a very, very close area, he's just forced it wide.
Once again, PJ, that fell to Van Dijk, who struggled to get control of the ball. He finally did, didn't he, eventually?
But you could just see when the ball's bouncing and it's bobbling, and it's like it's like trying to juggle a balloon. It just keeps going up in the air, and you're trying to get it down, and you could see the anxiousness. Players all around, and what another wonderful opportunity. Ceres riding their luck.
And wouldn't it be just ironic now? They've got the ball up here. Set pieces, as we said, could be their way forward. Could have the fantastic delivery of Stefan Schrock. I think the referee, by the way, is again keeping close eye on things. Onto the far post, and Silva well over.
Set pieces really has been their only pathway forward, and they've had very few of those. Very disappointing display in this first half from Ceres. Just completely overpowered in the middle of the park. Absolutely, completely. Mazzari and Tanton haven't really been able to impact the game. Schrock has not been able to see enough of the ball, as has Ott. Pateri has been almost non-existent, and Marinon, his only real adventure in this game is getting into a tussle with his opponent, Doiman.
Done really well there, Van Dijk. He's had a good game so far, the man who has stepped in for Oseni. I'm not sure what Vidakovic is raising his hands for.
It's a good challenge. Absolutely. Very good challenge. And Kien, perfectly timed. In these opportunities, they're applying pressure, and Ceres are just flustered, as we witness quite clearly.
Well done.
From that ridiculous challenge from Ott. That is just immaturity at its absolute greatest.
Frustrating.
Dying stages of the first half, where you're fortunate to be still in the game at 0-0, and you give away a ridiculous free kick like that. There is absolutely nothing to gain from that. Absolutely nothing to gain.
Would you say he's lucky to have escaped a yellow card?
Yeah, potentially from behind. It's more a yellow card for stupidity in many ways. And will his team be made to pay now?
Yeah, it was impetuous, wasn't it? Voila!
Should have been a goal.
Yeah, that's a great chance again. Did it just sail over? Maybe. We'll have another look at that, but Kwang Hai, teasing delivery.
Well, he's just brilliantly whipped it in. Muller's completely misread it. And at that back post, oh, that's a brilliant opportunity. Another brilliant opportunity. Moses needs to attack that with his head. Needs to attack that with his head. Again, that is a marvellous opportunity. And Ott would be jockeying back to the halfway line for Muller's kick again, thinking how fortunate he was.
Continues, doesn't it? Now, chance to go forward. Ott, it's still Ott. Well, he's done really well there, Ott. Schrock just looked across, he wasn't sure whether he was coming from an offside position, and now we get confirmation of that.
You can see Schrock knew he's offside. He's in two minds. Should I just jog back and leave it, or...?
What are your thoughts on the delayed flag nowadays, PJ? Like in the old days, that would have gone up because he was going towards the ball and then pulled away. The flag would have gone up earlier, he would have known. Now they wait a lot longer, don't they?
Well, the referees, as we see 4 minutes of time added on, a little bit of flexibility to see whether...
No, nothing wrong there. Oh, he's got to put that away from the goalkeeper. Hung Dung and Muller, even Yomilicic made a hash of that one. He did so well, didn't he, to get to the byline?
Hung Dung has had a really profound impact on this game in the early stages. He's now bursting forward as well.
Những diễn biến trên sân thật sự hấp dẫn phải không nào? Và nếu như các bạn vẫn còn đang phân vân suy nghĩ rằng khi tham gia fp88vn.com sẽ được gì thì đừng vội lo lắng, bởi fp88vn.com hiện đang có chương trình khuyến mãi lên đến 2 triệu đồng dành cho thành viên mới, hợp pháp và an toàn. Hãy truy cập ngay fp88vn.com để nhận được ưu đãi.
They've had a lot of joy down both flanks. I've got to say that the three attacking players behind Hung Dung and Phai, in terms of Kwang Hai, Van Kiet and Van Dijk, have caused so many problems, haven't they?
Oh, they have. A very, very well-balanced performance this evening. Phai leading the line. Hung Dung as well. just with his diagonal runs forward. Moses sitting back, which really allows Van Kien and Van Houw from their wide fullback positions to step forward and support when going forward also.
Again, it's too much space, but he's offside. No doubt about that one for Van Kien. Look at that. That's the fullback up there. They're pushing well forward at the moment.
Just wave after wave of attack. Ceres honestly have not known what's hit them. There's been a really impressive performance from Hanoi FC, and the only area for improvement, which is obviously what the game of football is about, is to find the back of the net. 0-0.
Is that offside? Oh, that's
marginally. 0-0 is not a real reflection on the dominance of Hanoi FC have had. But it is about finding the back of the net, and they have not been clinical enough when they've been afforded those opportunities.
I think it is actually starting to rain now. It is raining indeed. And they had a drinks break earlier. It's one of those odd ones, but it's coming down fairly heavily at the moment. That could be a real nightmare for the keepers. Silva. Still one chance for one more, and the early ball perhaps Banquetti decides to go on his own, and Fai was in a great position again. It's ambitious from Van Kien, away by Kane, but only as far as Oloya. Oh, lovely touch there from Schrott, but again it's a bit too heavy. Van Houw went in hard, he might just cop a yellow right in the stroke of half-time. Seemed to take out Tanton there. That was rash, wasn't it, from the fullback?
It was, right in the dying stages of this half. Has had very little to do defensively. There's an area of Hanoi FC's game that I really do enjoy. They certainly do not take a step back, and look, I mean, he's got every right to go for that. He's just dangling his leg out. It's always a precarious situation. Whoever gets to the ball first is generally going to get hurt. There's going to be contact made. The referee really not enjoying those sort of challenges.
This could be the one and only attack they have, Ceres. And it's wasted. That, I'm afraid, presents probably the best opportunity they've had in this game so far, PJ. Which probably says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You could just see there's an anxiousness that really stepped into their play. Kane has seen very little action going forward, and it was the wrong option. Hanoi FC completely dominant in this game at the moment.
Chances for Fai, Hung Dung, Van Kiet, and Van Dijk and Quang Hai. That's how dominant it's been. The big question is, how have they not managed to score a goal? But the halftime score here at the Hyundai Stadium in the AFC Cup zonal semi-finals for ASEAN: Hanoi 0, Ceres Negros 0.
Of the world are on Singapore here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Racing fans, get on your feet. This is lighting up now. This race is getting interesting here. He lit up Singapore. They nearly touch wheels. They go side by side into turn one. Another car heavily into the wall. Will we see more drama? The battle is on.
I'm searching with a new smile. I'm loving with a new heart. I'm searching for a new life. Searching for a new sky. Searching for a new life.
Open up your senses. Explore. Time, smooth as silk.
Whether it's for airport transfers, business, and in any situation, we will pick you up with cars of the highest class, with comfortable interiors complete with Wi-Fi and television, and an exceptionally high level of service and bilingual drivers. Experience the best hospitality in Tokyo at an affordable price. Book through your hotel or call Tokyo MK. We look forward to welcoming you on your journey. Tokyo MK.
I heard he's a savior. I heard he's a mutant. He's a god.
I help people open their minds.
Is this a cult?
Tick-tock and birdie.
I'm a good person.
You end the world. Why do you need a time traveler?
It's about saving lives, starting with mine.
How do you surprise someone who can go back in time and warn himself?
The final season of Legion premieres tonight at 9:50 p.m. on Fox.
By Crawford gives the title to Perry. 6-3, 6 low, 7.
The men who first set foot upon the summit of Everest have returned.
Althea Gibson does it. What an achievement. 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting in such vivid colours now means Wimbledon can be seen in all its glory.
The cup has gone back to the champion of champions.
The future of the Berlin Wall is now up in the air.
As he sees the Wimbledon moments.
700 miles per hour.
Sampras is the new champion.
Here as the world celebrates the millennium. Spectacular. Roger Federer really is the glory. It's a new era for medicine. Scientists.
The Mars rover has landed.
Unbelievable.
Is another golden moment from Wimbledon.
Hello and welcome to the Jalan Besar Stadium in Singapore. It's the AFC Cup match day 6 here as Home United take on Kaya FC. There's the ball, eyes across the face of the goal, and it's the first chance. It's gone in. What a dream start. That's got to be one of the quickest goals in AFC Cup history. About 15 seconds, 12 to 15 seconds on the clock, and it's going to be credited to Adam Swandi. A massive deflection along the way.
Another good strong performance from Home United. Deserved 3 points here at the Jalan Besar Stadium, and Kaya's attempt to go through to the next round just fizzles up.
Lao Toyota take on group toppers PSM that will look to extend their impressive debut season here in the AFC Cup. As Lao Toyota, they need to try and get some points on the board, restore a little bit of stability, and also play for a little bit of pride. Lovely ball played down the line though. Decent ball back. There's the goal. There's the breakthrough. Rashid bursting through from the middle of the park, and all the hard work done by one of the stars of that first 45 minutes. Saldi. Well, he's made the most of that because the ball was right behind him. He had to pick up, inject the pace into it, and then slot it in the back of the nets. As Guy Jr. goes through, there's your third. Unbeaten then in Group H are PSM. The clean sheet today is what they craved, and they got it. It finishes Lao Toyota 0, PSM 3.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you from the Hyundai Stadium in Hanoi, Vietnam. It's match day 6 of the AFC Cup 2019, and a vital game here in store for us as Hanoi FC take on Tampines Rovers of Singapore. Trying to clear their lines, Tampines, which they do, but only as far as Van Kien cross the goal again. And they get their first goal. Has the flag gone up? No, it hasn't. Well, they failed to clear their lines properly, Tampines Rovers, and they pay the price inside the first 10 minutes. Oh, it's found its way in through that sea of players. Could Shazwan have done better? Well, it doesn't matter because the goal counts for Danjung as we hear the final whistle, and that means that Hanoi will top the group on this final day. Tampines Rovers will now have to await the result between Bintwong and Ceres in the Philippines, and if Bintwong don't win that game, then Tampines go through.
Nice little flick on. Just looking to get in behind. He hasn't given a penalty, has he? Yes, he has. And it just looked like the faintest of contacts after the ball had been played, but the referee has pointed straight to the spot. A one-step run-up. And decides to take 2 steps back and then just slots it wide. What a miss that was. The keeper went completely the wrong way. Wonder! 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 What are you doing? What a finish!
I don't believe what we've seen.
He's seen Muller off his line and he's clipped it. We thought it was a cross initially, but that has floated and floated and drifted into the far post with under 2 minutes to go. Has that salvaged Bintwong's AFC Cup aspirations?
That is the most extraordinary goal I think I've seen in years, literally. He's looked up, he's seen his man, he's flipped it over his man. It is a fabulous finish. It's a wonderful piece of skill.
There is the full-time whistle by the sound of things, and you can see what it means. It's an absolute stunner from Wanda that stole this game, and it looks as though from the celebrations here, it is Bintwong that will go through as the best runners-up from the Southeast Asia zone. Yangon United take on Naga World in Group F from the Tawuna Stadium in Yangon. There is no way that either of these two sides can qualify for the knockout phase of this competition. Here's Kant. Nice little out. 1-1 win! Oh. He did it in the last game. He's done it again. And he now becomes the top scorer for Yangon United in this season's competition. Will it be a second right at the death? Handball? Yes. Correct decision. Referee in the right place at the right time. Miller saying, let me take it. Silla's going, no, let me take it. They're both looking at the bench. Clear handball. And that is all over. It's going to be Yangon that take the spoils and will finish third in Group F.
This is the AFC Cup. This is Group G. Persija Jakarta versus Shan United. So both teams with different thoughts in mind coming into this match. Served them well. The start of the season, my goodness, that is a horrendous error from Fontot Samin. And that's the opening goal of the game. Not the biggest, usually the quickest. And they found a way through. And another goal. Finds Matos gliding away. Still Matos. Simple, easy. Susanto, 3-0. Persija. No one's going to stop Rico now. Surely this is going to be in. It is in. And Rico Sumanjuntak gets the goal his performance deserves. Misunderstanding. He will be offside if he plays on with this. No flag. Rico sets it up for Matos. The walk in. The mic drop. 5-1 Persija Jakarta. Sandy. Rico. He's got it round the goalkeeper once. Still Rico. Sandy at the far post. He's decided to flip it up and no one challenges Matos, who gets his hat-trick.
chúng ta hãy cùng dành một ít phút quảng cáo cho nhà tài trợ fp88vn.com. Và nếu như các bạn vẫn còn đang loay hoay không biết sẽ đặt cược cho đội bóng của chúng ta ở đâu thì hãy truy cập fp88vn.com. Đây là một trong những nhà cái uy tín hàng đầu và đang đứng top tại diễn đàn đặt cược châu Á Asian Bookie. Các bạn có thể yên tâm đặt cược tại đây. Hãy truy cập ngay fp88vn.com và đừng bỏ lỡ cơ hội.
The Championships is always a colourful affair, with luscious green lawns.
Ready, play.
Stars in brilliant white attire.
Roger Federer!
Hitting purple patches.
Back at the top of the game.
To create golden moments.
What a play!
That last forever.
Angelique Kerber. Bravo, Djokovic.
These are the colours of Wimbledon. A tradition of greatness. Live on the Fox Sports Network.
Everyone, Bonnie made a friend in class. I want you to meet Forky. Hi. Hello. Hi.
He's a sport.
Yeah, I know. Forky is the most important toy to Bonnie right now. We all have to make sure nothing happens to him.
I am not a toy. I was made for soup, salad, and then the trash.
Freedom! Buzz, we've got to get Forky. Affirmative.
What would he do?
Jump out of a moving vehicle?
Let's go!
Hey, you gotta go, you gotta go.
God only knows. I'm coming!
On my way, Woody!
To infinity and beyond!
Kaboom!
I was made to help a child. I don't remember it being this hard.
Woody? Everything's gonna be okay.
God only knows what I'd be.
We are back at the Hyundai Stadium in Hanoi, Vietnam, where the host team are up against Ceres Negros in the ASEAN Zonal Semi-Finals of the AFC Cup 2019. It's the second leg. The first leg ended 1-1, remember, and that means Hanoi have the advantage coming in here with that away goal. And not only have they got the advantage, they are playing superbly at the moment, PJ Roberts.
They certainly are. They have been absolutely dominant in every area of the park. Ceres coming out on that pitch. Would have loved to have witnessed what Vidakovic would have said to his team at half-time. Not only were they dominated, just basic technical quality, but the fight and the hunger and the intensity required at this level was just completely amiss. And for a team like Ceres, who have performed exceptionally well in this competition over recent years, it was a humbling 45 minutes to say the least.
It's not often we say that about a Ceres side being outplayed like that, is it? And that is pretty telling. That just shows you the kind of team this Hanoi club can be on their day.
Well, you'd be embarrassed in many ways. Played in games where your preparation is exceptional, mentally you're up for the game, you walk into it and everything just goes wrong. And for Ceres, coming off the pitch, knowing that they'd been dominated in such an emphatic manner by Hanoi, knowing that they're still in the game being 0-0 would have been really humbling. The benefit, though, in saying that it is still 0-0. I'm really intrigued to see how Vidakovic has set up his team in this second half. And just the simple, basic KPIs required of football at this level. The fight, the hunger, that defensive enthusiasm to win the ball back early within reason, and obviously not fouling and doing anything too silly tactically in that regard. But Ceres really almost need to shake themselves out of this cumbersome approach they've got at the moment. Otherwise, they are in, if that first leg is anything to go by, a little bit of a hiding, because we're certainly going to expect more opportunities in this game.
Yeah, you do expect that, and be interesting to see if they can continue that momentum. Quang Hai, he's done well here, could have crossed it early, opted not to. And that was running in for the shot. Van Dijk blocked in the end.
He did well to keep it down. Came to him at pace, it was bobbling around.
Van Gaal. Oh dear. Well, actually, I'm sure he wasn't meaning to do that.
Well, Muller, even though I think he thought he was pretty assured in relation to his positioning, it was enough to have him scuttle back towards goal, just to make sure the ball evaded the crossbar.
Just a heavy touch, just couldn't quite keep it under control. Fine. He's such a tricky customer, isn't he, Fine?
He's very lively up top, real anticipation to jump on anything astray.
Comes across to help out there. Duiman. Schrock had his little moments, PJ, but seemed to overhead a few passes.
It just hasn't seen enough ball, as has Marinon.
Yeah, we've barely said his name, have we, in this match?
Two of the best players in this competition, specifically for the Ceres team. They've been nullified by what has been a very, very strong defensive performance from Hanoi FC. And that's really provided them with the platform to burst forward in attack with real momentum.
He's evaded everyone, and Van Kiet just couldn't quite control it. Lawyer, just a measured ball, but it just seems to escape the attentions.
It just took faster as the ball left his foot. He's just frustrated with himself there. You can see he played it forward, then was bursting forward to look at getting into the box and get on the end of it.
Well, we have a change 4 minutes into the second half. I always get perplexed by this as to why he just wouldn't make it before. And I think he's had an excellent game, Van Dijk, but will there be someone like Samson coming on? The out-and-out striker who's just a big goal scorer. It's not going to be him, in fact. It will be Pantan Long. Really, Van Dijk, if it is indeed a strategic, tactical decision, I feel a little aggrieved about that. He's had a fantastic match.
A little bit of a shift in formation as well. Van Dijk does burst forward with acceleration, difficult to mark. He surges past his opponents. Long again to maintain that same intensity. Certainly has the competencies to be able to do exactly the same.
So Pantan Long's the vice captain of the side. Be interesting to see how they just change things up a bit. 30-year-old now, Vietnamese international, ex-international rather. And across to Tan Long, just slips it in. Quang Hai's shot is blocked, and it's blocked pretty well in the end.
Good combination play. Oh, there, Tan Long just come onto the pitch, picks up the ball in this wide area. Oh, just makes that run and ends up being very good defending from Silva.
Confident punch out from Muller. Only as far as Van Kien. He gets the ball back here. It's a great ball, but just skips away from him. That wet surface is playing its part. He's done really well to get the cross in. There's a foul on Super.
A bit of a mismatch in the air there, Super. An awful lot in that.
They come forward again and slip through. Just too much for Van Kiep. But PJ, this is pretty much where we left off, isn't it? At the end of the second half, first half.
Certainly has. Usually when you have a half-time break, it kind of shifts momentum and can sometimes take the sting out of the game, but full credit to Hanoi FC. They certainly have kicked on in this second half as the first half ended. A truly dominant display. Ceres trying, as we witnessed just here, to play the ball out. Minimal options. Muller just being forced to launch it downfield with decent effect.
Done well. Straight to the keeper. He's got to do better than that. He was in a rare good position there for Ceres, who just have not had any joy in that final third.
Well, they're just second best at everything this evening. They're being forced into errors. They're not being allowed to play. Maranon, who is one of the best players in this competition, has been given absolute zero time and space. And there's another example of how tightly he has been marked, and that potent attacking force that he is has just completely been nullified.
Will run onto this. He's gone in a slightly more wide role now. Almost looks like a 4-3-3. Going high at the moment on that right hand side. He normally operates on the left, but some of his ability, it's not a major problem. Banquet. Quang Hai, now Tan Long. There's just so much time and space there, and it's a wild shot in the end from Quang Hai.
They should have done better. Should have done better. A little bit excited. Found some space. He just needed to be more articulate on his strike. On that left foot, which certainly is articulate. He's just tried to hit it too hard. Just at this point in time, he's just got to use the pace of the pass just to guide it into one of the posts. He'd be disappointed with that opportunity. Another excellent opportunity gone begging.
What have I done, ref?
Và để tạm gác lại những giây phút căng thẳng ở trong trận thi đấu này, chúng tôi xin được trân trọng giới thiệu đến các bạn fp88vn.com là trang nhà cái đến từ châu Âu, có kèo ăn cao nhất hiện nay và đang được đông đảo anh em hâm mộ bóng đá tại Việt Nam lựa chọn để tham gia. fb88vn.com đảm bảo uy tín cho anh em, nạp và rút tiền trực tiếp qua thẻ ngân hàng chỉ trong vòng 5 đến 10 phút mà thôi. Hãy nhanh tay tham dự tại fb88vn.com.
Passenger, hasn't he, Van Kong in Hanoi goal? He had absolutely nothing to do with PJ.
He certainly hasn't. Trying to flick back on first half, and
we had that one
wild
cross, didn't we, from Kane? Right at the end of the first half, that was it. He didn't even have to touch the ball then.
No,
we called it their best chance, didn't we?
And he was well positioned.
There we go, bit of action for him.
Which is dangerous times in many ways.
Absolutely.
The longer this game continues in the manner in which it does, and the score remains 0-0, Ceres are going to have to be a little bit more proactive in getting bodies forward and trying to open up that Hanoi FC defence, which has been penetrable at the moment.
He won't get to that. Here's Tonton. Forward by Super. Has to go back. This is where the goalkeeper could be put a bit under pressure by Fai. Muller does well.
It's saying handball. It's not a bad call, actually. I think we'll see the ball play back to Muller. I don't think I've actually ever seen that. It's a back pass.
Back pass, yeah.
You go to clear it. You make a bit of a mess of it. It bobbles off your arm, and it's a handball against the goalkeeper and a free kick penalty.
Oh, lovely play. Super recovers. Remember, this is a team that scored 23 goals. Slightly inflated, of course. Well, not slightly, very much inflated by the 10-0 win that they had in their very first match of the season at home.
Let's set them sailing.
Yep, against Naga World. They never quite hit the heights again. No, they did have a 5-1 and a 5-2 against Yangon, and in the return game against Naga.
Ceres actually away from home been very strong in this competition, winning their 3 games in the group stage away from home. So even though they've been...
Flag has stayed down. Everyone just stopped. But Fire didn't, and he makes no mistake. They all look across at the assistant. They don't care though, Hanoi, because they have taken the lead at long last.
Well, it's a sense of jubilation, but it's almost a sense of relief as well, given how dominant Hanoi have been in this game. Finding the back of the net. It was good build-up play. A little bit of thought that it was potentially offside. But you do play to the referee's whistle and the linesman's flag. And it was play on. And they were able to capitalise.
Well, that is a sucker punch, really. But not sucker punch, it's really the killing blow, because it has been coming, PJ. We said a matter of when, not if. There is a long dispute here. I think they've gone across to the assistant to make their case. It's not going to change anything.
Well, let's stop. Again, we've spoken about the experience and maturity of this Ceres team, and it's incredibly naive.
Well, whether or not they feel that's offside, they've got to play to the flag, the whistle, whatever it is, and they just all stopped, didn't they?
Well, Van Quet, just with that run behind, taking it to the byline, it really does turn that Ceres defence around. But again, you cannot rely on a referee making a decision like that. You need to track your runner.
For what it's worth, PJ, and I know it's difficult from the angle that we got, did you think that was onside or not? Or was that hard to tell?
From that angle, that was impossible to tell. Thanks for the question.
Even in real time.
I think I'm a magician looking at it from that replay.
Well, I just wondered. Oh, here we go. We'll come back to that. That's surely a yank on Silva. The flag has stayed down. I mean, this official is certainly going to be under the microscope because it looked like the last man there, Silva, pulled down fight. Well, hopefully we get to see that one again.
We certainly allowed play to continue. As Jung Min Sun, he's been very, very open in allowing the game to breathe.
That's very diplomatically put.
There's been a couple of incidents now as we enter the final 30 minutes or so of this game. Oh, the pressure on Ceres.
Touch on. And that, I think, qualifies as the first shot that they've had in this match.
Tanton, not a shot that he'd love to remember. Well, there's still plenty of time to go in this game. And for Ceres, they completely dominated in the manner in which they have. They really do need to get themselves going now. That's trying to state the obvious, whether it be real enthusiasm defensively, a couple of strong challenges, be a little bit more proactive, a little bit less conservative when getting bodies forward. Well, Silva's gone to ground.
Well, it's all a little bit feisty again. This is a little bit reminiscent, I suppose, at times of your first leg, which you said was a little bit, got a bit aggressive at times.
Yeah, it did get really feisty. Super, as we've just witnessed, has just gone down there. But again, he's in the team that is chasing this game. I'm not quite sure what he feels that he's going to achieve by feeling that he's been the recipient of something unjust and going to ground when seconds and the minutes tick away. Absolutely. And you're trying to chase the game. It's an interesting way to approach the game. Because if anything, you need your big characters now. You need your big characters to step up, and you know that things are going to go against you. The whole game has gone against them, but there's still plenty to go in this game.
Oh, that is very carelessly given away. Can they finish this off, though? Quang Hai, then Fai. Surely Banquets. He makes no mistake. It's a comedy of errors. They look across to the assistant. The flag once again stays down. I don't think there should be any question of it this time. And Hanoi are 2 up.
Well, Stefan Schromm, another quality player in this competition. To blame for this Hanoi goal. He's dropped deep. He's dropped deep to pick up the ball, aiming to keep possession. He's had a dreadful first touch. And Hanoi have absolutely pounced on it. Van Quet, Quang Hai and Fai combining brilliantly. A little bit of fortune for the ball, bobbling its way into that dangerous area. But Ceres, their own worst enemy on that occasion.
Well, they only have themselves to blame, really. I think you've got to say, PJ, on both counts. Defensive errors, one where they were just ball watching and ref watching, perhaps, and the second one, a terrible pass. That was an assist, wasn't it, almost?
It has been a horrible evening for them. It really has. The longer this game's gone on, we thought, okay, particularly that first leg, it did ebb and flow. Either team had their moments in the game, but Hanoi FC kind of grabbed their moment early on and they haven't let go.
Well, here we go.
This is where Schrock has given the ball away. It's 3v3. Got a little bit fortunate with the rebound off Silva, but it is a articulate finish. It really, really is. To have the composure and the ball eventually falls for you, just to pick your spot, cleverly elevated to the roof of the net.
Well, it comes back at them, and they just have not been great at the back today. about as tentative as I've seen Ceres Negros.
Oh, it's the worst performance from them in recent memory. Vidakovic, we had a view of him on the bench. A very anxious man. Such is the expectation for this club to go on and achieve success in this competition. We did particularly feel when we saw this draw that this did look as though it should have been the final, given the quality of both teams.
Absolutely. We did play that up, didn't we, beforehand? But that was based on what we've seen in the past and the group stages and the pedigree of these sides. But look at that, 10 shots to 1, and that one shot was Tanton's wild effort. I think they've actually ball on the change there. Mahir Karic is on. That would have been done quite surreptitiously. We'll just get confirmation of that.
There's only that one substitution initially that Vidakovic was able to use. Struble went off early in the game.
Yeah, that was the 15th minute. I'll just get that confirmed for you. It looked like Mahir Karic is on. Presumably now they're just having to go for it. Silva back to Muller. Yeah, it definitely is on. Mahir Karic is the Bosnian signing this season. Still trying to get word on who he has replaced. There he is. He's on for Porteria, who's another one we have barely mentioned in this game. So they're going to go two up top, it looks like, PJ. The big man up there with Marignon.
Marignon, exactly. He'll just look to play off him now. Slight shift in formation. Karic just does allow them to be a little bit more direct, which, if they can work the ball into those wide areas, they'll look to try and get it into him nice and early. We're having a plan B or a plan C. They haven't had a plan A this evening. And that does require substitution. Interestingly though, Vidakovic really has left that substitution quite late as well.
Yeah.
When you've been so poor in this game and dominated, the only substitution he had made was purely through injury, so it really wasn't a tactical change. Certainly come under a little bit of criticism for that as well, not impacting change from the bench with the options that he does have.
Gotta say, that was actually a really nice turn from Fai, but referee had blown the whistle. Yeah, I saw Karic in action against Tampines Rovers, his debut match, and it was unimpressive, really. And I just wonder whether it's more out of necessity. I think he might have just struggled to adapt at the moment. As they come forward again here, you can see the idea, the quick pass from Fai.
Yeah, he's quite deceptive, Fai. He does use his body well. He's got good angles. The ball can be played into him, and he's got a good understanding of where his teammates are making those runs around him.
Here's Schrock. A lawyer to clean up.
Well, Schrock in that first leg was doing that for fun and creating space and pinging passes. There's one player who's found it very, very tough going this evening. That mistake for that second goal, giving the ball away cheaply, and has just had a abysmal night when in possession, giving the ball away cheaply. Again, this is what really enjoying about Hanoi FC. They're 2-0 up, but defending very, very high up the park. And when Muller gets the ball in defence, absolutely no options to look at trying to keep the ball short. They're just looking at launching it long, and then it makes it a battle. And generally when it has been a battle this evening, there's only been one winner.
Yep.
That's Hanoi FC coming out with possession.
So I think there's been a little bit of lip. It's probably born out of frustration for this man here, Marignon. And he cops a yellow card now. It really has been one of those nights, and it's going to be a change shortly. Looks like it's going to be Samson Huangvu, a player to be able to bring on.
A great option off the bench. A real energy and physical presence.
Chúng tôi xin trân trọng giới thiệu với anh em một website rất uy tín, đó chính là fp88vn.com. Hiện tại đang có chương trình khuyến mãi lên đến 2 triệu đồng dành cho thành viên mới, hoàn toàn hợp pháp và an toàn. Hãy đăng ký tài khoản ngay tại fp88vn.com để nhận được ưu đãi nhé.
We talked about that attacking five, Van Dijk earlier, now of course replaced by Tron Long and Van Kiet, Quang Hai, Hung Dung, Phai. It's brilliant.
There really is very good understanding, interchange of positions. Moses does a really impressive job, just a step back defensively, just sitting in the middle of the park. He's got a good understanding in staying in touch with Doi Man and Tan Chung in central defence, which does allow Van Kien and Van Hao to step forward and support an attack, which they do absolutely superbly. They've had absolutely no answer, Ceres, for what has been an onslaught against them this evening. Evenly poised coming into this game, given what we witnessed in that first leg.
Well, look at this. They're bringing off their holding midfielder in a lawyer who's done a pretty stellar job. And they're going to bring on Samson. They're 2-0 up. Samson Huangvu is a goal machine. Colourful character. And has been there for a long time. Moses has done his job well. Samson Huangvu doesn't start so many of the AFC Cup games. 30-year-old who has had some fantastic times really with this club, Hanoi in particular. 96 goals and 128 appearances. Had a very short stint with Buriram. That didn't work out, so he came right back and he's scoring for fun again.
It's a impressive against the goal ratio, as you've expressed. Absolutely well loved by the fans also. There's that Buriram stint. Certainly didn't go to plan in the manner of which he would have liked it to.
It says a lot, doesn't it, when you replace your holding mid, put on another striker, and you're the ones 2-0 up. They feel pretty happy with themselves at the moment.
They certainly do. It's been a little bit risky. He's had a big game, Moses, in the central midfield.
It stands. But what's interesting, look at that. Phai at the base of that midfield, right at the back, screening the front four. I mean, that's not something you see very often, PJ.
No, Phai demonstrating his versatility. It's a good understanding of the game. Very different type of
taking a little bit too much time on the ball. Christians comes back and helps out. Schrock is getting a lot of hassle on the ball. It's just been one of those very, very subpar nights for Ceres Negros. Van Hal. Well, it is fast approaching now or never time for Ceres Negros. They would need to score 3 goals here. Dizon. Actually, my mistake. 2 goals would be enough because of the away goal, excuse me. And Dizon replaces Marignon. About as anonymous a game as you've seen for him?
Yes. Cannot recall a game where he's had such minimal impact. And you almost feel for Ceres that you could play for another 2 days and they still wouldn't score. They have been, we want to say they've been poor, but I think they've just been so dominated by Hanoi. But just the simple things they've really let themselves down on. Big players have not stepped up this evening.
Here's Kane. Goal now would make things interesting, of course. Art! Oh, that is close, but it was bending away.
Brilliant opportunity. After just absolutely caning them in relation to my appraisal of their performance, they step up with what was their best interplay in this game. We'll see. Oh, just when it comes to him, very clever in using the pace of the ball just to clip it into that far post, marginally past the post. It was a delightful effort, but that's the quality that they do have. And we've seen it time and time again in this competition over recent seasons, but they have demonstrated absolutely nothing of that tonight. When it matters, when this tie is riding on the line and progression through to the final is pretty solid motivation to play for, they have not turned up. Questions will be asked Vidakovic and particularly his ability to impact the game from the bench. Had the half time to either make some changes, either tactically or in personnel. It didn't happen. And then did leave his substitutions to quite late in this game when they were really playing catch up, which is always a very difficult position to be in.
Last 10. Well, they have had a good run of it. Ceres.
They certainly have, Shazad.
I don't want to write obituaries too early.
No, well, it's coming to an end. And you can throw it out there right now.
So no miraculous comeback here for you.
Well, I'd love to be surprised, but I certainly cannot see it.
In a year, of course, where we've had miraculous surprises in continental competition.
Well, they get a goal from this corner, all of a sudden the complexion of the game does shift, but
I think this is their first corner of the entire match.
Yes, yeah.
Which says a lot, doesn't it? And now, would it just be something if they can get a goal here? They're getting in each other's way for a start. It was Silva.
Well, they don't deserve a goal. But, as is the beauty of football, where you can have plenty of possession, best field position, lots of chances, and not find the back of the net. There are very, very fine margins. But Ceres, as we have witnessed in this competition, they are goal-scoring machines on their day, and they are generally very, very well organised. Tactically very disciplined. Defensively, they give very little away, but a real cutting edge to their game, particularly with Marinon leading the line. Poor performance overall, and full credit to Hanoi. You certainly need to applaud the way that they have approached this game.
Trong Van Tai comes off for the impressive Van Kiet, who scored the second goal. And has been buzzing around basically everywhere. The veteran.
It was a big performance from him. Just really leading by example. A strong presence in this lineup. Excellent role model for the younger players in the squad.
So the new player who's come on, Trong Van Tai Ki, 21-year-old midfielder, current Vietnamese under-23 international. Been with Hanoi since 2017. Just want to close this off now and get a clean sheet as well if they can.
You know, it's a good point, Shazad. They will want to keep a clean sheet. They've been ruthless defensively to keep Ceres scoreless, which does not happen very often.
Yeah.
So not only to win this game, win the tie and progress through to the final, but to keep a clean sheet as well. It's a very strong statement. Conceding a goal at this point in time would almost feel like you've drawn the game, even though they've won. Such is the importance of these margins and building momentum with a focus on the final.
Ball there from Samson. Reminder that Binh Duong, another Vietnamese team in the other semi-final, they have a 1-0 lead against PSM Makassar, so it could be an all-Vietnamese final. Things stand the way they are.
That would be a statement.
Absolutely. Remember, this could be the passing of the baton, because if you recall, for those keen watchers of the AFC Cup, as we see Schrock come forward, it's a good ball across. Well, have we got a grandstand finish here? And the first shot on target in the 85th minute from Dizon results in a goal.
Well, Dizon's taken that brilliantly. He is taking that absolutely brilliantly. Very little room in which to move. It was a good first touch. He was able to manufacture some space for himself and then drilled it home. And do we have a game on our hands now? Well, there's plenty to go. We're going to see 5 minutes plus time added on. You're going to expect that Ceres are going to at least get one more opportunity in this game.
Well, we do know Ceres are a much better team than what we've seen tonight.
Chúng tôi xin trân trọng giới thiệu với anh em một website rất uy tín, đó chính là fp88vn.com. Hiện tại đang có chương trình khuyến mãi lên đến 2 triệu đồng dành cho thành viên mới, hoàn toàn hợp pháp và an toàn. Hãy đăng ký tài khoản ngay tại fp88vn.com để nhận được ưu đãi nhé.
Conceding a goal now would feel disappointing. Here we go. After all that they've done.
Oh, exactly. Schrock has done well. And that right-hand side, he's just drilled it in. He's just found his ability to control the ball. Look at the quality of this first touch. He's got the defender. He's just holding him off behind him. Just turns it nicely, gets it out of his feet. That's a superb finish.
Two things I want to ask you about that as we see this corner. That is
up defensively. For Hanoi, they'll just want to